and welcome to Diaspora Network, the show that throws the spotlight on Nigerians who have distinguished themselves and are making the nation proud on a global stage. On the show today, meet the men and women who have leveraged their experience abroad and are flying the nation's flag through technology and innovation. We take a look at innovation and development on our special reports. And Palm Nut meets technology. We chat with the co-founders of Relief. They're working to revolutionize Nigeria's palm oil industry one nut at a time. It's a very packed show, but before we get into it, let's take a look at the news of the week.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has successfully evacuated hundreds of Nigerian citizens back to Nigeria after thousands had desperately fled the war in Ukraine to neighbouring states. As 500,000 refugees flee the ongoing conflict, reports of mistreatment by Ukrainian border guards have enraged Africans from across the world. African students, including Nigerians, were, at some checkpoints, refused access to trains and buses, with priority given to Ukrainians. Queues along borders have stretched to tens of kilometres long, with individuals complaining they had been forced to wait for days to cross, amid freezing temperatures and with no food, blankets or shelters. Engineer Collins Ogbonna, an admin officer at iFinance, spoke to us from the Ukrainian city of Ternopil, just before he and his young family made a lucky escape through the Hungarian border.
Just a few hours ago, they sent me some video. My daughter was running around. She was even crying because the flat of her classmate was also hit by a missile. So I just thank God we took the right decision at the right moment.
In this official statement, the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has assured citizens that government officials are working around the clock to make sure that Nigerian citizens are returned to the country safely.
So far, nothing has happened to any of our Nigerians there, particularly the students. And the students have WhatsApp groups, they have students associations, and then we're all communicating directly. And then there's a WhatsApp group that you can also join for emergency purposes. So all those information is on our website. And the key thing is there are people to contact and people to talk to.
Consular helplines are available for those still seeking further assistance. The Nigerian-born minister of the government of Alberta in Canada, Kelechi Madu, has been reinstated following a probe into his behaviour after being stopped for an alleged traffic violation. In March last year, Madu was fined $300 for allegedly using his phone while driving. Madu denied the allegation and later raised concerns around the profiling of racial minorities during a phone call to a regional police chief. It was this call that prompted an investigation. The report of the probe was received on the 15th of February by the clerk of the Executive Council. Madu was cleared of misconduct last week and transferred to the Ministry of Labour and Immigration. NBA star Giannis Antetokounmpo has signed a long-term deal with WhatsApp to promote the brand across the world. The Milwaukee Bucks basketball star is the Meta-owned messaging platform's first ever brand partner. The Greek-born national of Nigerian heritage announced the partnership by wearing a customized hoodie ahead of the 2022 NBA All-Star Game. The hoodie featured the 234 international dialing code for Nigeria. The deal will see Antetokounmpo feature in branded content as well as attend events and community outreach programs. The 27-year-old is one of the NBA's most popular stars. He has more than 20 million combined social media followers, and merchandise company Fanatics confirmed he had the third highest selling jersey in the NBA last season. Juliana Oleyinka with the Diaspora Network News Wrap in London.
From Europe and Asia to the Americas, Nigerians are well recognized for their groundbreaking work in innovation and technology. Here are some of them.
Damilola Olokesui has a degree in chemical engineering from the University of Lagos. After many trips to different parts of the world and experiencing diverse systems of transportation, she came to the conclusion that the Nigerian working class deserves a smoother and stress-free transport system. But she made more concrete plans towards this goal after a close family member was abducted.
She was a victim of one chance as well, where they took her to the wrong destination. Thank God she was okay, but that was a traumatic experience that we all experienced as a family. When you enter like unidentified buses that that have the intention of just kidnapping and stealing from the passengers, really. So that's what we call one chance. It's a term used for those kind of public buses and drivers that rob the users while trying to commit from one place to another.
This scary experience led Damilola to carry out a survey among workers and organizations to determine the transportation needs of their staff. And with the help of tech and experience as an engineer, Shuttlers was born. The company is one of Nigeria's leading transportation startups focused on transforming how workers within professional organizations commute in the bustling towns of Lagos and Abuja. The platform enables customers to share rides to and from work by booking trips along fixed routes at a relatively low price.
How does one subscribe to Shuttlers? So if I was a new passenger and I've heard about Shuttlers, what's involved in terms of the tech?
Okay, so you can either go to our website straight, that's shuttlers.ng, www.shuttlers.ng. You can either decide to search for your routes on the website, or you just download the app straight. It's on iOS or an Android app. So let's assume you're using your iOS app, for example, and then you search for your route. So, for example, if you live at Aja and you're trying to go to VI, you just got a job, or you have a job already and you're trying to get a VI. Maybe your nearest bus stop is at Ilaje bus stop. So you search from either using your house address or search by your nearest bus stop, right? And then you also put your destination. Then you pick up the day that you want to use the service. Then you come out with the available schedules that are available on that route and different times.
Under Damilola's leadership, Shuttlers has received much recognition for ingenuity. Damilola is a Forbes 30 Under 30 recipient for technology and was selected by the UK government for a technology exchange in 2020. She has won several local and international accolades, and her team has raised a $1.6 million seed funding from several investors. In 2020, she launched an initiative called She Moves Shuttles, an all-female shuttle service that has impacted 600+ female professionals by turning their commute time to learning time. But all these gains have not come without challenges.
Each day comes its own biggest challenge. I can't even say, okay, this is exactly the thing. So right now, I would say fluctuating pricing, the inflation, scarcity is a big challenge where, today, the price of something today, tomorrow the price has changed. And one of our selling points is that we want people to be able to afford the service, right? We want to be able to help people plan their months ahead, so you can budget your month's commission costs and pay in advance. But when the prices keep changing every single day, they're not sure of how the dollar rate will affect some of these things. I would try to quantify how I'm reducing traffic congestion. I'll also be able to quantify how I am contributing to reducing carbon emission in the environment, and then exchange that for something. It could be, tax rebates. It could be incentives for maybe reduction for maybe to help our bus partners to reduce their importation on the bus that they use. It could be maybe priority for fuel, access to the fuel, stable fuel price. It could be any pressing issue that we're facing at that particular point in time. To be able to exchange it, the kind of problems that we are solving for them, exchange it for something that we also is a pain point for us as well.
In spite of the obstacles, Damilola shows no signs of slowing down as she announces big plans to contribute to diaspora remittances.
Personally, I'm a member of Global Shapers, which is an initiative of World Economic Forum. I'm also an Arambian, which is a global alliance. One of the things that we're going to do this year is leveraging these communities to expanding our scope to other African countries. We're expanding to about 6 cities this year, both within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And sometimes in 18 months, we are also looking at how we can also go outside of Africa to see where there are opportunities similar to the kind of challenges that we're solving here in Nigeria.
Damilola is poised to continue to lead innovation in the technology and transportation sectors in Nigeria and around the world.
What impressive profiles. But many say their achievements should translate into investment back in Nigeria. Why? Because investment drives development. Now let's take a look at what we found about diaspora investment in the last couple of years.
There is no doubt that Nigeria is one of the top 3 countries driving the growth of technology in Africa. Its teeming population of over 206 million people, according to the World Bank, connotes a large market size for trade and contributes to its recognition as one of the 11 3G countries with growth potential and profitable investment opportunities. Despite the hurdles of running a business, the technology startup ecosystem in the country has remained one of the most valuable in Africa, as young Nigerians look for ways to add value to themselves and represent the country both at home and abroad, and in a short period of time, this effort has gained global recognition. Last year, Israeli research center Startup Blink, through its annual Global Startup Ecosystem Index, ranked Lagos as 122nd out of 1,000 Africa's growing cities. Some of the factors identified to be responsible for these successes are resources and good policies, and the federal government has been at the forefront of the campaign by initiating favorable programs, trainings and policies such as the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy, Nigeria National Broadband Plan, the National Digital Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Policy Startup, as well as the recently approved Startup Bill, which aims to create a new regulatory framework that allows emerging tech firms to thrive.
Mr. President has already signed and conveyed to the National Assembly. It was the first message I read while living here. This has been achieved with your support, and we do hope that when we are back to Abuja, we will consult National Assembly. We will lobby them on behalf of all our stakeholders to ensure that within no time, this becomes a law. And there are so many provisions in that bill to address the challenges of the sector.
Arm your drones in 3, 2, 1, go.
Although some say there are still technological disruptions, the federal government says it is committed to tackling these challenges, as it believes a thriving technology startup ecosystem will enable Nigeria become a leading player in the global digital economy, as well as attain key national objectives of improving security, reducing corruption, and expanding the economy.
The Ethiopia Diaspora Agency has commended the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission for its wealth of knowledge, experience, and many success stories that the Commission has achieved working with Nigerians in the diaspora. The Director General of the agency, Dr. Mohammed Endris, lauded NIDCOM while leading his team on a courtesy visit to the Chairman of NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, in Abuja. He spoke about areas of collaboration between Ethiopia and Nigeria and was keen to emulate NIDCOM's template to engage Ethiopia's citizens in the diaspora for development. In response, the NIDCOM chairman told the delegation that Nigeria prides herself of the high quality of the human capital she has at home and abroad. And speaking about strengthening NIDCOM's template, some of the Commission's engagement efforts include the National Diaspora Policy and engagement with diasporans through town hall meetings. But one of its recipes for exemplary diaspora relations is upscaling the skills of its staff, which is why the Commission treated workers to a 4-day intensive training facilitated by the Nigeria Immigration Service. At the event, the need for more collaboration for national development is re-echoed.
This, as my brother said, is the kind of collaboration that should be encouraged. Multi-agency collaboration, sector collaboration. It will really enhance service delivery and enhance everything we're doing as a government.
And diasporans continue to make a difference through the Lagos State Diaspora Network. The network's food bank initiative, in partnership with Nigerians in diaspora, distributed 1,000 loaves of bread at the Ikoyi-Obalende Local Council Development Area.
The diasporans in form of remittances are always giving back, and Lagos has been a recipient in infrastructural developments and all that. So people are investing in property. We're not asking them, come and invest in people's lives through medical missions and through this simple way, the food bank initiative. It's not about investing and getting money, but investing in people.
Let's meet two friends turned business partners who came back home to run a startup in Nigeria.
We sat down with the two young techies behind Relief, and they started by telling us the remarkable story of how they met.
Yeah, so Uzo and I met our junior year in college in a program called Management Leadership for Tomorrow. Basically prepared students to be ready to be professionals. So as a part of the program, we had to do workshops and case studies, and Uzo and I were on a case study together.
Kind of. Let me come in. We were supposed to be working on a case study together. You know, I was corralling the team. I saw Kenneth to the side, kind of minding his business. I said, "Oh, who does this guy think he is?" So we worked on the case, prepared everything. And then when it was time to present, he decided to grace us with his presence. But then he did amazingly. We ended up winning. And I said, "Oh, I like this guy. He's smart, knows what he's good at."
Division of labor.
Absolutely, yeah. See? No, can blow grammar.
Okay, and so from there, family?
Yeah, so then from there, we got on the phone, spoke. I told him about Relief. We had kind of just started it up. And then he joined the team, and then from there, we finished up university, went through Y Combinator, and then moved back to Nigeria and started working on Relief. Yeah.
Interestingly, Ikenna's family had to adjust to the idea of him coming back to Nigeria.
My mother homeschooled myself and my 4 siblings, so she's literally the person that taught me to read, my maths, everything. So it was really awesome for me to be able to go to Yale and study computer science. I had great jobs lined up. And then for me to want to go back to Nigeria and do agriculture, it took some getting used to, but they're very supportive of what we're doing now.
And you, Uzo?
So my dad told me, "Look, I don't think Nigeria has changed as much as you think it has. It's gonna really frustrate you. I want you to, keep your optimism, not get jaded. So you should stay in the U.S., gain a foundation." So he wasn't very keen on me. I was supposed to go to work at Microsoft, and my mom was always supportive. So she said, "Follow you wherever you go." But now things are going fine. So now he's telling all his friends, "Oh, look at my son."
As it goes.
Yeah, as it goes.
Fantastic. So tell us about Relief. Tell us about the journey. You talked about family. How did the company start, the startup that you've got now?
Yeah, so we got back to Nigeria in 2017, and we knew that we needed to come up with a perspective on the market. We needed to stop reading, reports from the World Bank and nonprofits, and we needed to go see the agricultural market ourselves and develop our own perspectives on how to catalyze industrialization. So when we moved back, we moved to Ikeja instead of coming to the island because we wanted to be close to Ojota, so we could go to the bus station and from there travel all over the country. So in about 6 months, we traveled to 20 states, and we traded 8 different commodities. And we basically worked with traders. So what we would do is we would finance the traders for the deal. So we'd pay all the money to buy the crops from the farmer and put it on the truck and sell it to somebody else. The trader would help us arrange all of the operations of doing that. And we would split the profit 50-50. So if we lost money on the deal, we would take the loss. And if we made money on the deal, we would split the profit 50-50.
So what was that like?
It was a great deal for the traders, but for us, it was really eye-opening. I think it was even our naivete that allowed us to just hop on a bus and go to Benue, go to Kaduna, go to Rivers. And so we learned a lot firsthand. A lot of people said, why are you doing this? You know, you could be doing anything. But I think it allowed us to build conviction on really understanding here are the different challenges along the value chain. And here is how most Nigerians are actually living outside of, you know, a bubble that most people who come back kind of experience.
That feasibility study led Uzo and Ikenna to become passionate about using technology to extract various products from palm nuts.
It wasn't actually our plan. We just traded those 8 different commodities and we fell in love with the palm nut and the palm kernel value chain. So we saw a process of smallholder farmers using handheld rocks to crack open these nuts to then process them and then sell them off. And that was kind of a eureka moment for us in that people should not be having to do this in the 21st century.
Starting the business was one thing, keeping it up and running in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State was another. Ikenna tells us about the financial hurdles that confront startups.
So the journey has not been easy, and I think financing this company was very, very difficult until we had finished developing Kraken. So from 2017 until we finished developing it in 2020, a lot of the funding that we got were from angels. So instead of big investment firms that have, you know, investment committees and all these processes, it was smart and wealthy people who looked at us, looked at what we were doing, and they said, hey, these 2 guys can crack palm nuts. I'm going to give them a little bit of money, let them like work on this research and development, and they'll be able to do it. Since we launched Kraken, though, our growth has been rather explosive, and I think the rest of the market is now understanding the potential of what we're doing. So we closed a $4.2 million seed round last year, and we'll be looking to continue to grow and scale from there. So 2.7 million of it was in the form of equity, and then the remainder was in the form of a grant.
And apart from the finance, there are also production hiccups.
We had a few technical challenges, you know, with these smallholders. The nuts are very muddy, they're full of chaff, they're multiple species. Even the cost of, you know, developing a piece of technology that has scale, you have to make sure it's cost sensitive for this market. And so Kraken is what we call our desheller, is able to do 200x more than the folks that can be doing rock cracking, 25x more capacity than people that are doing artisanal cracking is what I call it. It costs more than half the cost of if you were to import a desheller, and it's able to deliver 95% purity above the industry standard of 88%. And so over those 2 years of, you know, running into bad vendors and making many different mistakes along the way, it was very... We're very well acquainted with Abba, and you know, very industrial people, but yeah, a lot of different ups and downs. So that's on the hardware side what it's meant for us to industrialize, really increase scale and then quality. And then on the software side, a lot of it has to do for us with offering value-added services.
So in terms of hiring staff, for instance, we know the issues with human capital development. What's it been like? Who do you look out for?
Yeah, we believe in building African solutions with Africans and people that are here. And so the vast majority of our team is African in origin. I think we might be 100% African actually. So I mean that kind of speaks to the ethos of, you know, our objective is to decentralize food processing in Africa and to industrialize this sector. And we believe that it's something that we as Africans have the capability to do, so we're doing it.
Relief has won several laurels and awards, including the Most Outstanding Agri-Tech Company 2021, Africa Business Heroes Award, where Relief was second place, Sancope Global Awards 2020, and the African Development Bank's Agri-Pitch Awards. For Uzo and Ikenna, other young tech-driven professionals should come back home to Nigeria to invest.
Constantly encouraging people to come back, and, you know, the sooner you get here, the better, and the compounding you can enjoy. And we really do fundamentally believe that we are in this decade and the next are so crucial for Nigeria's development. And so if you can be on the ground and be part of shaping the nation and the future, you know, there's no telling what type of future we could kind of build together. So that's kind of what I tell people, and that's what I truly believe.
And Uzo, finally, what's your advice to upcoming expat entrepreneurs? like yourselves, seeing as we're trying to do diaspora work, but for development of the country? What's your advice, your takeaway?
Yeah, I think it's certainly useful to, ground yourself in the World Bank reports and the other things, but you need to create time to actually come and test your assumptions. I think we wasted a lot of time not being open-minded enough. When we first came, we said, oh, this is going to work. And so really kind of let your assumptions drop. We have a saying in Relief where we call go and see the land. And really trust folks that are in these markets. Is there real economic activity? What are the friction points? And how can you use what you're seeing around you to create a real solution? So I mean, it's pretty, in YC, one thing they taught us is talk to customers and build product. Seems very simple, but if you really focus on doing those two things, you will make a lot of progress.
We actually used to be the largest exporter of palm oil in the world. And so what Relief is doing is actually returning us to those roots of agricultural prominence. It's not saying that we're starting from zero, but we're actually returning to where we were before because we can do what we've done in the past again.
What an amazing way to fuse technology, investment, and development to make an impact in the society. Perhaps with the launch of the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Fund, we may see more startups like this. That's the show today. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Ijoma Onyato. You can always catch other episodes on our website. Thanks a lot, and let's do this again some other time.